So tell us a little bit about yourself and about Weotta.
Okay, so a little about myself and Weotta. I'm Grant Warnick. I'm CEO, co-founder of Weotta. Weotta is a journey in natural language semantic search. And for those of you who don't know what natural language semantic search is, it's what you want Siri to be. It's what you want Google Now to be. And to really do a great job at that, you really need to be very domain specific. And Weotta has spent the last 3.5 years doing that for the domain of local.
Yep.
And over the last 3.5 years, we've released a lot of interesting products, which I think we're going to talk about.
Yes.
We invented a lot of cool interfaces. But one of the greatest things you can think about Weotta, think about it being that best friend. Think about it being that hotel concierge that you can ask in natural language, that you can say to it, where can I go for a date night on Friday?
Yeah.
Or what can I do with the kids Saturday afternoon? Or get really specific. What's the best Japanese restaurant with hamachi kama that's going to be inexpensive?
Yep.
Or what events are happening next Thursday? There's things that are really hard to discover today and require lots and lots of different sites.
Sure. And that kind of natural language search has been the holy grail of search forever, and I think that you guys have nailed it from a data science perspective, and we're going to go under the hood in just a minute. But first, before we get there, I want to kind of, for some historical context, this is a slide I made about 1.5 years ago, and I've been giving it in presentations. This is slide 65 of whatever massive deck I was giving to someone, and giving examples of what's next in terms of mobile UI and design and search, and this idea of cards. Card-based interfaces, it's logical. Humans have opposable thumbs, as opposed to the kind of 10 blue links and other things that have been the UI that we've been used to. And you know, you guys were one of the original examples I used, along with Tinder, and this is Swell, which actually Apple bought and then discontinued. And now with Google Now, that has kind of popularized it. But in terms of this card interface, you guys were one of the first. And you have a funny story too about Tinder, which has somewhat put it on the map. In some ways, got it from you, right?
They did, actually. Yeah. So one thing we did over the last 3.5 years is we built the back-end side, which is really classifying the real world. What's good for girls? What's good for guys? Where do families go? Who has the best of this dish? We put out a lot of interim products to start understanding what consumer behaviors were. So our first thing we invented was a stack interface. This is over 2.5 years ago, before Tinder was really around. And what happened is I showed it to the co-founders, the guys over at Pinterest. And they're like, Grant, we're going to New York next week. Can you put this on my phone? Of course I can put it on your phone. You guys give me lots of good advice. And he goes and shows it to the folks at IAC Labs. Well, what are the guys at IAC Labs working on? I have no clue. Well, turns out they're working on Tinder. All right. And then he comes back a week later and says, Grant, I hope you don't mind, but I think they're going to use this interface for Tinder. Nice. One of the most interesting things about that is Tinder's become extremely popular over the last 2 years. And we just released what we've been working on for 3.5 years, this mobile semantic search. We just released that 3.5 months ago, in July, or a little more than that in July. And as they became really popular, we realized that people start thinking this interface is very permanent. Yeah. Oh shoot, I'm going to lose it, I'm going to lose it, I'm going to lose it. I just lost it. Yep. And so we actually have to evolve our interface, and we next week, we're really excited, we're going to be releasing the new version of our latest stuff.
And you have a sneak peak for us, don't you? So we're going to go to a live app demo here to show about the...
This went to the App Store yesterday, and Apple seems really excited about it, so hopefully... am I connected with my phone here?
If you guys go to the demo feed, Apple Play... Yep, there we go. So you swipe down, there you go.
So originally, guys, we had this swipe interface where you lose the card after you do it. And we have the search bar at the top, and Weotta is really meant for the next generation of voice. You can talk to it like a friend. So you could say, like, dinner ideas for tonight, or you could say, what's happening this weekend. But now, you're finding that we need huge buttons. People need to know they can take really quick actions, and they need to know they can get something back. And they need to have lots of conventions. So next week, this actually is launching, and we're super excited about what it means. Because now, you're not going to be afraid of losing something.
Sure. And the indications on the bottom in some cases were things you have already liked, and that's why the buttons have the share and
yeah, so the left is something I like this restaurant a lot. For those who haven't been there before, Cattonia is a pretty awesome restaurant, and you can see everything you ever wanted to know about this place. Weotta really views ourselves as we're the first real local search solution. Sure. Everything, just like what Google did for web search. And you can see everything you want here, but part of our goal is to link out to other folks. So like there's the open table link right here. and you can get reservations right in line, and you can go out to other sites like Yelp and Foursquare.
Now, though a lot of your differentiation is the natural language search and the active search, and we're going to get into that in a second, there's also a discovery component that's always been there, right? Where wherever you are, you can open it and see everything around me right now, which is, I presume, by geography and other signals.
Absolutely. Yeah. So one of the things that we experimented with long ago is trying to read your mind. And it's like, okay, it's Friday and it's happy hour time. Let's start giving them happy hour places. That works really, really well. But what we found a lot of the time is people are looking for stuff that's like 8 hours in the future to like 3 days in the future. So it's really about the soon. And it's interesting. We started with this kind of prediction, and now you see everybody doing it. Kind of in the advanced R&D lab in a way.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, we're finding that to be the case.
Okay, so let's talk about natural language search. First of all, I think you already did a good job explaining what it is. It's search that is done in natural language, obviously, but the secret sauce is on the back end, treating that not like Google has traditionally treated Boolean search, which is, done in individual words. It's done in combinations of words, but not in context. So that's what you brought to this. Why and how are you guys differentiated in this kind of world of natural search?
So Google came along on web, and they created this thing with PageRank, and PageRank made it possible to do a much better job with search for the web. But that web page analogy doesn't hold when you come to local. With local, you really need to understand the insights, and you really understand what things are about. So Weotta built a pretty massive crawling infrastructure of our machines that goes out across the web, very similar to Google. In fact, if anybody are familiar with Factual goes really wide, and they have a really good crawling infrastructure. Weotta has one about the same size, but we go very deep. Our machines read every newspaper article, every local blog, all sorts of content to really garner the essence of things.
And that resonates too. I mean, I mentioned in the last session and the opening that search behavior is changing as we go mobile. In a lot of cases, queries are more granular. So, instead of I'm looking for French restaurant, it might be French toast, or I'm looking for a specific type of whiskey. The searches tend to be at that level of granularity. So you are unearthing those types of things, menu items, hours of operation, some of those kind of things that are in some ways unstructured.
Absolutely. So one actually really funny search is like fantastic single malts. That actually will work on Weotta, and you'll see right on the card places with whiskey, and it does really, really well. But what we're also finding is it's two really hard problems. One, we had to classify all the data, and then the other part is being there and being that friend, that natural search so you can talk to it. Because we're going to this world of wearables. We're going to this world where you're actually going to be talking to these devices. Well, Weotta is ready for that, and that's what we built around, especially when you're going to be in the local world, you're going to be driving your car, you're going to want to know this stuff. And the text search products of today are not going to be able to do that. You're going to need to understand it like a friend.
Now, is it possible for us to see, I mean, we just had the app up, can we get it back and do, because we were doing more of a discovery mode before and swiping, but to do an actual search, one of these natural language searches that are, an actual human sentence.
Hopefully it comes back up
here.
There
you go.
You have any ideas?
So, what are the default ones you have there? Well, I've been away for 3 days at this conference. I was thinking about date night with my girlfriend tomorrow night. Expensive, classy, something like that I can get out of the doghouse.
Classy. Let's do a classy date night. Friday, right? So what this is going to do is going to give you places that are high-end and classy for Friday. Let's do a search. Classy date night Friday. Give me 1 second. Love doing live stuff. So now you're getting all these classy places that you would actually go to.
Definitely classy.
For a date night on Friday. So you have Spruce, Absinthe, and since you're from San Francisco, these are probably places that you would like to take her.
Oh, absolutely.
But then, for instance, you go do this and somebody
I don't like all those, what do all those dollar signs mean?
Well, it's a memorable dining experience as well. And so we try to give you that nice stuff. They have a lovely ambiance. And then suppose you go do this search, which
let's do a comparative search.
So if you do the same search and here's another one of the leading local products.
This is Foursquare?
Yeah, it's Foursquare.
And
if you do this over in Foursquare, you'll see they're queuing in on Friday, and it's like Friday night dinner.
See, this is interesting too, because with your kind of natural language processing, the Friday part was it was reading it as you want to do this on Friday, whereas it seems like this search on Foursquare, it's giving you results where Friday is in the title of the actual listing.
Exactly.
Which isn't in context.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting.
And then the same problem here would take place with classy date night dinner. Well, there you go. Those are not dinner places.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's similar problems. And it's not the fact that they have bad data or they're a bad product. They're actually my favorite products.
Sure.
It's the fact that natural language search, the kind of search that we built, is the beginning of what's happening.
Sure.
For the future.
So we're almost out of time, but I want you to unpack, you know, the burning question probably for everyone is that's awesome, but how come like Google isn't doing this? And you know, what is your data science, or what is the background that has you guys have the greatest data science?
I think Google Ventures is one of our primary.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
So one reason why Google isn't doing this, they're doing a lot of cool things.
Sure.
But it is a big company. It's a legacy product.
Sure.
Lots of legacy products. And lots of people have the same problem with legacy products. We had
It's the innovator's dilemma in some ways.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And we had the benefit of being a really small, lean team of like 7 people that we come from a natural language background. My co-founder wrote the book on natural language processing. And we were able to rethink the problem of local search from the ground up, much how they were able to rethink the problem of web search from the ground up.
So the combination of your success factors is that data science is so much in your DNA, and you're starting from scratch with that without a legacy product or an inventor's dilemma. I mean, that sounds like a good answer. I buy it.
True.